The small town of Evergreen was known for its picturesque landscapes, charming cottages, and the warmth that enveloped it during the Christmas season. Streets adorned with twinkling lights, shop windows dressed in festive displays, and the scent of pine and cinnamon wafting through the air, all the hallmarks of a perfect holiday setting. However, beneath the veneer of seasonal joy, a sinister tale lurked, waiting to cast a chilling shadow over the town's most cherished time of the year. The story began with the Myers family, recent transplants to Evergreen seeking a fresh start. Mark Myers, a middle-aged man with a quiet demeanor, moved with his two children, Emily and Michael, to escape the haunting memories of a tragic loss. The Myerses settled into an old Victorian house on the outskirts of town, a grand yet eerie structure that seemed to hold its own secrets within its time-worn walls. As the winter days grew colder, Evergreen embraced the holiday spirit. Decorations adorned every corner, and the town square transformed into a festive wonderland. Yet, the Myers house stood in stark contrast, its windows often shrouded in darkness despite the vibrant glow that emanated from the rest of the neighborhood. The townsfolk, initially welcoming, soon began to whisper about strange occurrences surrounding the Myers family. Some claimed to hear faint, mournful melodies drifting from the house in the dead of night, while others swore they caught glimpses of figures in old-fashioned attire through the frost-covered windows. Emily and Michael, still adjusting to their new life, found solace in the attic of their new home. Among dusty trinkets and forgotten relics, they discovered an antique music box, a delicate, ornate creation with a hauntingly beautiful tune. The siblings were enchanted by its ethereal melody, and it became a source of comfort in the midst of their loneliness. However, as Christmas Eve approached, the music box seemed to take on a life of its own. Its haunting melody echoed through the house at unpredictable hours, awakening a sense of unease in the Myers siblings. The townspeople, too, felt a subtle shift in the air, an unspoken tension that permeated the once celebratory atmosphere. On Christmas Eve, a heavy snowfall blanketed Evergreen, muffling the usual sounds of laughter and joy. The Myers house, now draped in an eerie silence, stood like a specter against the winter landscape. As the clock struck midnight, a sudden chill settled over the town, and the music box in the attic began to play its haunting tune, louder and more insistent than ever before. The townspeople, drawn by an unseen force, found themselves standing outside the Myers house. The flickering street lamps cast long shadows on the snow-covered ground as the melody from the music box reverberated through the air. Whispers of a long-buried tragedy circulated among the hushed crowd. Legend had it that decades ago, a family much like the Myerses had lived in the same house. They, too, had experienced the strange occurrences, the mournful melodies, the glimpses of ghostly figures. The family, unable to escape the grip of the supernatural, had vanished without a trace on a snowy Christmas Eve. As the clock in the town square struck 12, the atmosphere in Evergreen grew electric. Shadows danced along the snowdrifts, and the air seemed charged with an otherworldly energy. The music box reached a crescendo, its haunting melody merging with the wind's mournful howl. Suddenly, the Victorian house began to emit an ethereal glow, its windows illuminated by a spectral light. The crowd, transfixed by the supernatural display, watched as the figures of the long-lost family materialized within the glow. The ghostly apparitions, trapped in a perpetual Christmas Eve, beckoned to the Myers family. Emily and Michael, guided by an unseen force, descended the creaking staircase and approached the spectral figures. The townspeople, now silent witnesses to the supernatural reunion, felt a mix of awe and trepidation. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy as the Myers family and their ghostly counterparts converged in the parlor. As the clock struck 1, the room filled with a blinding light, and the spectral figures dissipated like mist. The music box fell silent, and the Victorian house returned to its dark, foreboding state. The townspeople, shaken by the supernatural spectacle, slowly dispersed into the snow-covered streets. In the aftermath of that haunting Christmas Eve, the Myers house stood empty and abandoned. The whispers of the townspeople grew hushed, and Evergreen returned to its festive charm. Yet, the memory of the spectral reunion lingered, a cautionary tale passed down through generations. Every Christmas Eve, as the town slept under the snowy blanket of night, a faint echo of the music box's haunting melody could still be heard. The legend of the Myers family and the ethereal reunion became a chilling reminder that, in the midst of the holiday cheer, the past had a way of resurfacing, and the veil between the living and the dead could thin on the most magical night of the year.